What's up, everybody? Timothy here, and today I wanted to talk about day labor jobs. Now, day labor jobs are the jobs where you go in, if you get sent out, you work for the day, and you come back and you get paid for the work you did that day. And I will be honest, day labor jobs, working for day labor companies, is like the lowest rung of any kind of temporary work there is. Just because of the nature of it. Like I said, it's work today, get paid today. You get a lot of people who come and try to work through these agencies, who try to do day labor work, that are just in it for, just a quick one day's worth of work so they can get some cash that afternoon and go out and do whatever it is they need to do. So you don't always get the best type of people, I want to say, showing up to work day labor. And because of this, the employers that hire through the day labor companies typically aren't the best employers offering the best jobs, because they know what type of people they're probably going to get. So what you end up getting is just like some pretty awful jobs with pretty crappy pay. And, the people you're working with aren't always going to be like the best people you're going to want to work around. Now, I won't say this is true in every case and in every day labor place you go to. All day labor companies aren't created equal, and all the jobs they send you aren't either. I have actually worked some decent jobs through day labor companies. I've worked some, just horrible jobs. I've been to some day labor places that were actually ran pretty well. They're actually pretty professional. The buildings were nice, and a lot of the other people, the other day laborers there were, kind of just regular people like me. I think a lot of it kind of depends on the area you're in and just kind of what the work is like in those areas. But day labor is definitely something to consider if you haven't been able to find any work and you need some money. Like I said, I like the fact about it that you work today, you get paid today. It is kind of cool to put in 8 hours and then get a check at the end of the day. That's kind of nice, and I like that about day labor. But like I said, not always the best jobs. Another thing I don't really like about day labor is that it's one of those situations where you have to show up early in the morning, and usually around 5:30, and when the jobs come in, they just start handing them out. And a lot of times, in most cases, it's first come, first serve. Unless they kind of know you, then they might, give you some special privileges and send you out on some jobs. But it's kind of first come, first serve. So if you get there late, you wake up late, you get there at 6, you might get the crappy job if you get a job at all. And, all throughout the day, it's kind of the situation where, they might have a couple jobs come in at like 8:30. You've been there since 5:30 and no jobs come in until 8:30. You kind of don't know if you should leave or stay. So it's kind of one of those weird situations where what ends up happening is people come up there 5:30, and they just kind of sit around and drink coffee, typically to about like 9 or 10. And then they realize they're probably not going to get to go out that day, and they go home. Kind of wasted your morning. And then the next day you do the same thing over and over again. And then, every now and then you get up there and they have a job and they send you out. So it's kind of really a depressing form of temporary work. Traditional temp agencies, they'll call you when they have something for you, or you can call them and they'll say, yeah, we got something. The day labor is different because you have to sit up there every single day if you want to go out. Like I said, once they get to know you, sometimes things change, but when you're first starting out, it's going to be your obligation to go up there every single day as early as possible and sit up there, and hopefully they'll have a job for you, and a lot of times they won't. I want to add real quick that having a car is sometimes a plus when you're dealing with day labor. A lot of times they'll have a van, and it can take people around to the jobs. But if you have a car, sometimes you can get to the jobs that are further out that everybody else can't get to, and so you're more likely to get to go out. Also, if you have a car and you're willing to take some of the other workers, the other day laborers with you, a lot of times that'll give you precedent, because then they don't have to drive 4 or 5 people around, so they, you'll get the job, and then they'll pick some other people to go with you, and sometimes you'll get a little extra bonus for being the driver. So if you have a car, that's definitely a plus in day labor. The downside to that is, though, you might have like 3 strangers riding with you in your car. And if you're like me, you don't like transporting strangers because you don't know what they got on them, things like that. But having a car does help in day labor. But I will say that it can be kind of a depressing place. I know that the first time I set up in a day labor office, I realized like just how far I had fallen. I was just like, wow, Tim, you got to get your stuff together. Like, this is not you. Not judging anybody who does day labor, but the area I was in, honestly, most of the people that were up there were, people just trying to get enough money for booze or drugs. And they're just really, it was just kind of a sad, depressing place. I think I ended up going out on like a couple jobs, and then fortunately I found some other employment. But day labor is an option. I definitely recommend checking it out in your area if you haven't been able to find any other work. It is, like I'm always saying, it's more positive energy put towards finding a job, and you work that day, you get paid that day. You might be able to get on with a pretty steady gig and, make some good money and make some okay money for a couple weeks or something like that. So try, Google it, day labor places in my area, try it out. If it's not something you feel comfortable doing, don't do it, but it is an option when you're unemployed and you need to find some money. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more videos on all things related to finding a job and getting employed. I'm Timothy. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.